Yeah.
Drum and bass is having a moment right now. Generally, it does every 10 years, right?
Yeah.
It comes back and around, it goes in and out of fashion.
Well, I'm hoping that it doesn't go away this time. I'm hoping that it stays. But I honestly, I totally agree with you. And I've had people when I took over the show being like, oh, we liked it was a bit more niche. I'm like, but there is a time and place for those shows. Cool FM has just relaunched recently in the last couple of years. And if you want niche drum and bass, there are a plethora of incredible underground shows. I urge you to go and listen to all the amazing broadcasters like DJ Flight on Cool FM. There are so many great ones. Ray Keith. Go and listen to those artists, please do. But on Radio 1, those dance music shows have always been more accessible across all the genres, and we are the gateway.
It has to be.
We are the gateway to bringing people into the scene, and I don't think some people realise how important that is, because for a while drum and bass got a bit stagnant because the sounds were all the same. By having a show like this where it's more accessible, you're encouraging more younger people to get into the scene and to create music that also progresses the genre, because if it's the same people making the same sounds, the genre never moves forward. So
Totally.
you know,
I totally agree, and I think it's also, it comes to a point where people forget that Radio 1 is a national radio station paid by the license payers.
yeah,
And that has to be made for the license payers.
yeah,
And if you go super niche, you alienate half the people that want to listen.
Yeah.
Even more than that, you alienate everyone apart from a small percentage. And don't get me wrong, I love niche stuff. I love it. Absolutely
don't get me
love
wrong,
it.
we still have underground artists on there. Like,
Yeah, you do
people
cool
like
shit.
Mantra, and we had Ivy Lab
Yeah.
in the children bass mix recently. We do make sure that, you know, we had Fabio come on and do a 60 Bs, which was iconic because
Old
that used to be
school.
his show.
His
you know,
show, yeah.
that was a moment. I almost cried. I was like, oh, pull it together, Charlie, for God's sake, you know. But yeah, we do still do niche stuff. But yeah, it's not, like you said, I think the purpose of having that social online content is to bring people in. And I'm very aware there'll be a lot of people that like to watch the content online and don't actually listen to the show, you know.
Well, I think that's the whole point of it, right? That's the
Yeah.
whole point of it is like, it's having another platform that is giving people content that they didn't know they wanted, but they want it.
Yeah.
And it doesn't necessarily mean, it's the same with the podcast. It's like the clips that I can put out, I can probably guarantee that 95% of the people don't listen to the podcast and see those clips, but maybe one day they might.
I was going to say, well, also those clips help to point to a podcast that people would be interested in, because they might not be interested in every single guest you have, but then if they see the clip, they're like, oh, I really like that person.
Exactly.
I know I do that with podcasts. Stephen Bartlett's podcast, Jay Shetty's podcast, like Annie Mac's podcast. If I see somebody that's interesting, I might not listen to every single episode, but I'm like, oh, I had that person, I'm definitely going to listen to that, you know?